Okay, let me take off my keys because my keys are annoying. Oh man, what the heck happened to my necklace? Okay, I wanted to talk about the subject that I brought up last time. Well, earlier I was doing my YouTube video and then my roommates came in, and so we're in the middle of doing something to the apartment. So anyway, yeah, so the topic is once a cheater, always a cheater. And to say that someone's cheating on you, like, first of all, they have to be like your fiance or your husband or wife. Like, single people that don't have a ring, or like if they're not in this under the same roof, that's not really the same thing as cheating, because if that person wanted to be in your life, they basically would be, and they would be showing improving as far as like building with you. Like, okay, like, we have to do this, or we have to do that, or we've got to go get the divorce, or if they're not showing you like that they want to build with you, then basically you're not cheating on them. You're just single. A lot of people have misconceptions of what a relationship is. Okay, like, if you have friends and acquaintances, that's fine. You can go out, you can socialize with your friends, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, well, I'm dating you and this is exclusive, because it's not really exclusive if you're just friends. So some people are like overly maybe possessive or jealous, or like if you're their roommate, or if it's a situation where you're just roommates, okay, that's just a roommate thing. You could go out with your friends, they can go out with their friends, you just paying rent there to stay there, and it's like, that's not a relationship. Even if you guys casually date, sometimes it's not really a relationship either. So once a cheater, always a cheater. It's basically talking about people that are neglectful, or people that are possessive, or people that are jealous, are going to say that you're doing something wrong to them, and you're not really doing anything wrong to them. So they label you like a certain type of way, like say if you always dye your hair black, or if you always dye your hair a certain color, then people are going to be like, oh, you're a brunette. But the minute you change your color, you're something else. It's like, oh, what'd you do to your hair? You look so different. Like, what? I'm so used to seeing you as a brunette. So, like, it doesn't matter, what people say. It doesn't matter what people think. And sometimes it doesn't matter what people feel. I mean, if they're not really, like, paying your bills or under your roof or building with you, you're pretty much single. You don't have a ring on your finger, so there's no real commitment there. So the topic that I thought of, once a cheater, always a cheater, is basically for people who don't want to settle down. Okay, so there are people that just never want to settle down, and they're always going to be labeled a cheater. They choose to, they haven't found the right person yet, or they like a variety of dates. They feel uncomfortable with just one person, or they've been living alone for so long that they can't even share their space. Like me, sometimes I don't like roommates. I mean, I love my roommates, they're cool, but I'm saying, like, once you get used to being alone, or you feel like, oh, well, I could just get a dog or whatever, you're not, so you really don't care if you have company or not. You're so used to being alone. It's like, so basically different strokes for different folks. But people that are used to being married, like, I was in 2 marriages, and when I separated from my first marriage, it was horrible, because I was so used to being married. I started crying. And then the second marriage, I basically was never really with him. He was in and out of jail. And I wanted to be with somebody. And I was like, oh, cool. And when I found him, I was like, oh, cool. Now I have somebody to spend the holidays with. But that didn't happen because of haters. You know, there's always a hater that feels the same way you feel. Like, oh, well, you know, they thought they would spend the holiday with you, some of your friends, so they're hating on you. Like, oh, well, I thought we were going to spend the holidays together because we're always alone, and now you have a boyfriend, so I'm just going to hate on you because you have someone and I don't. And then it becomes like, you know, they're smiling at your misery when they do something messed up to you. Like, you know, like if they try to talk to your friends, um, and then they're laughing, they're smiling behind it. They're like one time I was like, oh, it sucks because I had to return these shoes or whatever, because my boyfriend didn't want to go to work or whatever. And on the down low, he's like, your friends are trying to talk to your friends and make them their fans or whatever. And you're over here like telling your supposed friends what happened. And then they're grinning like they love your misery. And it's like, why would that person grin when I just told her something bad? Like, I couldn't go shopping because my boyfriend lost his job or whatever the bad thing was, and then they're sitting there laughing and smiling about it. So, you know, yeah, it is true, the topic that I brought up, that, you know, some people don't want to settle down, or they meet the wrong people, and so they're just like, well, I guess I'm just going to be dating around because, and people are going to label me like, I thought that was a mirror. I was like, what the heck? People are going to be labeling me like I'm a cheater, or I'm just like randomly dating different people. But it's like you have not found what you're looking for yet, or you're still with people that aren't measuring up to your standards, or you care about them, but they're just friends. And so you're just like, okay, well, you know, once a neglectful person, always a neglectful person, or once